Hello again, not.Hope, and welcome to another video. And this one's going to be another tech-related video, but it's not going to be about a certain piece of technology. And this is just going to be about me sharing my thoughts about failed technology. I'm basically asking whether or not failed technology overall is bad. Now, my thoughts about this, the question of this video is failed technology really bad? And I would always say no. Now, the reason I would say that is because of the fact that not all failed technology is actually that bad. Even though a lot of people give it a lot of backslash. Now, we've seen, products over the years in the world, either become a commercial success or they've become a commercial failure. And there's usually a few reasons why products end up failing. One is, sometimes there might be something better than that product. Usually you've got like product, wars and stuff. So such as like stuff with format wars. Now the thing with format wars is that we've seen them over time. Like near 30 to 40 years ago, we saw, well, I didn't technically see, but the world saw like one of the first format wars with Betamax and VHS. I know it wasn't the first format war, but that's what a lot of people say. And the thing about it was overall VHS won that format war. And the reason why it won against Betamax by Sony was because the VHS format was a lot easier for consumers to purchase. A lot of retail stores chose VHS because it was a lot more cheaper. It was easy for consumers to get, and it was also easy for companies to release their format, their films and stuff on the VHS format. They were a lot more easier to make, whereas the Betamax format was actually quite expensive. But also Sony had particular rules of having these films and media released on their format, but also they didn't really open the format to a lot of other companies, whereas VHS did. And unfortunately, the Betamax format failed. It was released in 1975 and it was discontinued in 2002. But ironically, being truthful here, Sony was actually still making new Betamax cassette tapes all the way until March 2016. Yeah, they were still making cassette tapes for that format player, for the Betamax player, all the way until last year. Which is crazy, for a format that's sort of dead and, buried to a lot of people. That format was basically in production for 41 years. That is insane, That is crazy. That most people probably, forgot about it, wanted it dead and buried, and Sony's still making tapes for that player all the way to last year. It's just crazy. But we've also seen other products that may have been ahead of the time, or they may have released too late. I think something like the PSP Girl. Now, the PSP Girl was basically a digital-only PSP, which was released back in 2009. And I remember back then that a lot of people gave the PSP Girl a lot of hatred. They thought, oh, this is terrible, this is going to fail, no one's going to buy this, blah, 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 blah. And the reason why it failed was because it didn't have a UMD drive on it. It had no UMD compatibility on it. So if you purchase games, you'd have to purchase them digitally. And a lot of people never upgraded to it. They just stuck with their PSP and purchased all their games physically. Because most people were not ready for digital media. And it was definitely ahead of the time, I think looking back, it was an interesting product, but a lot of people just didn't really want to go near it or buy it. And unfortunately, it only lasted like 2 years. It was discontinued in, I think, late 2011, before the PlayStation Vita came out, you know what I mean? We're seeing stuff like the Sega Nomad, which was basically a portable Mega Drive in your hands that you could play Mega Drive games / Genesis games on the go. The problem with it was sort of released too late. It was released around the time when the Saturn had been out, you know what I mean? So a lot of people moved on to the next gen and basically left the the Mega Drive and Genesis behind, you know what I mean? And that's just what happened. But it was a cool device, you know what I mean, to be able to play like home console games on the go, you know, like the Turbo Express by NEC, basically portable TurboGrafx. That was released, I think, like 1991 or something, 1992, so I'm around that time or something. So it was insane, you know what I mean, to have that idea. We've also seen stuff like the Game Boy Micro, which I think the Game Boy Micro was an interesting idea. Problem with it was, it came out around the time when the DS was a thing, and most people were moving on. Also, the DS had Game Boy Advance compatibility built in, so if you bought a Nintendo DS on day one, you could play all your Game Boy Advance games on it. And the Game Boy Micro was seen as sort of like an outdated little handheld that people didn't want. And unfortunately that failed as well. I do remember the Game Boy Micro. I never owned one, but I always thought it looked really, really cool. But that's, you know, just the way it goes. You know, it's like the Wii U. You know, I've mentioned about the Wii U many, many times. And the Wii U, I would say it was ahead of the time. I think the screen on the controller was pretty cool. That you could put like AAA games on a controller, which was bloody amazing, you know what I mean? And a lot of people give it a lot of crap, you know what I mean? And some of it is deserved, some of it isn't. Problem with the Wii U was, it was Nintendo. They shot themselves in the foot because they didn't advertise the heck out of it. They didn't explain what the Wii U was. People thought it was an add-on to the Wii, which it wasn't, and people just didn't bother with it. You know, even third parties after a while said, no, we don't want to bother with the Wii U. The proper next gen is on the way soon, so that's what we're going to be doing. And that's just, you know, how it goes. And people look at, you know, failed technology as being really, really bad. And I really don't think it's deserved, you know, to be seen like that. But that's just what people think, is that people think that just because failed technology, because of the fact that products failed, oh, it's bad, don't waste your time on it, don't waste your time. And a lot of it ends up being a bit of a punchline. It's like, you own that? You own that thing that we've been making fun of. You own it. Are you kidding? Are you kidding me here? You're a goofball for owning that. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to be condescending, but that's just what a lot of people say. And it's quite a shame to say that. You know, we've seen, you know, Apple, you know, make mistakes with products. You know, the Pippin, the Newton. We've seen Sega do that, you know, many times with their consoles. We've seen other companies, you know, the Philips CDI, the Atari Jaguar. And that's just how it goes with a lot of stuff, you know what I mean? HD DVD even, you know what I mean? There's a lot of people love HD DVD. And it's sort of like a cult, as a cult following. Even though the format was discontinued in March of 2008. Yeah. After almost 10 years, people still love that format. You know what I mean? That's just the way it goes. And I think it's nice to experience old technology and failed technology that you may have never, you know, tried out, because it was long done, it was long dead or discontinued, you know, after you were born, you know what I mean? So it's nice to look back and, you know, think, wow, that's pretty cool, that. And that's just how it goes. So yeah, failed technology, never ever say anything about it. People might see it as a punchline saying, you own a Wii U? You goofball. Oh, you a flipping goofball. Oh, let's go make fun of it. You know what I mean? You know, that's just the way it goes with a lot of people. Is the only reason why they make fun of it is usually because they've never flipping tried the product. Thing is, any of you go out buy a Wii U, okay, whatever. If you've not tried a Wii U and you make fun of it, go out and buy one, you know what I mean? And you'll understand why we like the console so much. You might see us as the Wii U, you might be like the Wii U haters, but thing is, we don't flipping care. You know what I mean? There are people out there who love the Wii U. They like the Dreamcast. They watch HD DVDs. They love the Betamax format. You know what I mean? People still like stuff, even if it's long dead. Even successful formats, you know what I mean? And successful products that became obsolete, people still love to try out, you know what I mean? And that's just the way it goes, you know what I mean? Even the Zune failed, you know, that still has a bit of a cult following as well, who knows? An iPod, even though it's seen as like the iPod killer, and most people like to joke about it. This is how it goes, you know what I mean, with a lot of this stuff. So, So yeah, you know what I mean? Just because a piece of, piece of technology, just because a product failed, does not mean it's a terrible, it's terrible, it's bad, you know what I mean? Never ever think like that, you know what I mean? That's just how it goes with a lot of things. Some things may succeed, other things may not, you know what I mean? Sometimes there can be issues with development, you know what I mean? Developing a product. And unfortunately, because of it being recalled, they have to basically discontinue it, you know what I mean? That can happen as well, where a product is recalled because there's so many problems and the company has to move on, you know what I mean? And that's just the way it goes. So just because something may be a failure, a commercial failure, do not make it out like it is a failure and something that's bad. That's sort of judgmental if you want to say that, you know what I mean? But yes, just how it goes and stuff. So always remember that, you know what I mean? Just because something failed does not mean it's a terrible product. So yeah. I just want to say thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. I know it's a little bit different, you know what I mean, and stuff, but I want to make this video and stuff. So I just want to say thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you all later on. The next video will be on Friday with the Alex Francis sketch, the Christmas special, if you want to call it that. And then on Saturday there'll be 2 videos. Yes, 2 videos on Saturday. So I just want to say, hope you look forward to those. Hope your day's going well. Hope you enjoy the rest of your weekend, and I'll see you all later. Bye!